It's like watching a bunch of retards trying to fuck a doorknob out there.
It looks like Chuck's taking the skin boat to Tuna Town. Vagina.
Do you wanna take a life? Do you wanna cross that line? Because it's a long way back from hell.
Now, what you've got here is a scrotum and nothing else.
I learned a long time ago that there's no sense getting all riled up every time a bunch of idiots give you a hard time. In the end, the universe tends to unfold as it should. Plus, I have a really large penis. That keeps me happy.
My mind is a raging torrent, flooded with rivulets of thought, cascading into a waterfall of creative alternatives.
God darn it, Mr. Lamar. You use your tongue prettier than a $20 whore.
Here's to the Army and Navy and the battles they have won. Here's to America's colors, the colors that never run.
May the wings of liberty never lose a feather.
Yay! Wait, let's do it again. Do it again. That's what she said. What up, everybody? It's Monday night. We're going to do a square up. I think I'm only going to get to one topic today. We'll save the rest for the real BBC tomorrow. Pretty tired. I was just telling Garrett, I had to wake up way too early for a YouTuber today. So I'm a little tired. Let's fucking go. Got me a new projector because my last one farted out. I got some good hours out of it, but oh shit, X-ray. Okay. Thank you, Master Austin. Hang on just a moment. Hang on. Okay. There we go. Hi. Hello, everybody. Actually, the soups aren't supposed to be on. This is a square up, but I appreciate it. So I'll read some of them right now, but we are going to get to the ones from Friday and give them their due. I appreciate you guys. I really do. Callum for £2 British says, late and gay as usual. That's right. Gene the Machine 2.0 for $5 says they literally fridged Hal Jordan. It all came in full circle. It did. We'll get to that. Nick the Quick has been a member for 9 months. People this late are Pearl Jam fans. How dare you, Nick? How dare you? Looking for a cheap laptop with 16 gigabyte hard drive, 1 terabyte SSD, and hopefully AB300. LOL. Well, I hope you find it. Thank you. Even though Jeremy was almost done, I was getting sick of listen. Why Cash? You'll be back at Jeremy's stream tomorrow. What are you talking about? Master Austin for $19.99. Happy birthday, Gary. Yeah, what the heck? It's practically here. Yeah, it's practically here. Just finished my Star Trek journey with Picard season 3. Great ending for the new TNG crew. My favorite Star Trek was OG movies, specifically Khan and Country. And favorite show is DS9. Those are good choices. Now let's see who's here. We got Wavy Takahiro, Eric K. the Mod, Von Zoli, Fun with Collecting, Birthday Tax. Oh boy. Blackab and Kireji. PJ Sucks. Who's Pearl Jam? Yes, Pearl Jam sucks. Or Springsteen and Bon Jovi, Scott Kerr. They all fucking suck. They go into the suck category. You know, people give Nickelback. I would watch every show on a Nickelback tour over any of those 3 bands. I would watch an entire Creed tour over all of those 3 bands. Creed and Nickelback have contributed to culture more than all 3 of those bands combined. Now, I know some Pearl Jam heads will go, Pearl Jam. Pearl Jam was the worst of an era where I liked a lot of the music, and I know there's a lot of grunge fans out there, but did it help music? I mean, half the guys are dead, and if you look back on it, grunge was of its time. It could never be repeated. It's fine, whatever. It was about the disillusionment of the 90s and blah, 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 and the reaction to hair metal and things getting too corporate. And that's art. That's fine. But when you look back on it, what would you rather hear music about? Being really sad and overdosing on heroin, or getting laid? And honestly, now that time has gone on, what music has lasted longer? Metal. Not that any music's doing great right now, but metal. Hot take about John Byrne's Man of Steel is better than Batman Year One. Ooh, at least John Kent didn't cheat on his wife like Gordon did on and forgot Babs. I don't know, Andrew McCarty. I don't know if I can go that far. I'm picking up what you're putting down, and I'm close. But that Mazzucchelli art is perfection. It's comic book art perfection. But damn, I love John Byrne. John Byrne is the closest thing to Jack Kirby that we'll ever get. That we will ever get. All right. Oh, I'm not done saying hi to everybody. RT Brian, hello. Memi Self Knee. Notram. Fear of FEMA. Nick the Quick. Blair de Blair, Claypool, Hertz Donut, Hob Dobson, Chaos Maker, Master Chief, Dancing Godzilla, Caleb Wright, Lazy Cow, Bushka Blue, what is up? The Toilet Bug, that is an interesting name. Strong Opinions, you're welcome here. Paul N., Owls, and Mike Linux. Welcome to the show, everybody. Welcome to the show. All right. Like I said, I'm a little tired, but we can do this. Hail the fellowship. What's up, Phil? Mitchell is sober. Glad you're sober. Where's Pitler? Where's Ray Pitler? He's always lurking. Ray Pitler is always lurking. All right. Real quick, I'm going to give some brief comments on Lanterns. Perry, do not clip this because we're working on a review video that'll come out Wednesday. We're going to try for tomorrow, but it's going to be Wednesday because I'm tired. And it aired last night. I did a watch party for the members. So it might be, follow me on this one. It might be the best thing from Guns DCU while also being not good. I think you'll hear a lot of, it's a bad Green Lantern story. I heard that from a very good friend of mine today. Like, it's decent, but it's a bad Green Lantern story. And we're going to see where it's going because it's such mystery box. So it's a bunch of random events that are loosely connected to basically have fans do the theorizing and all the heavy lifting. What mystery box storytelling is basically a cheat code, right? It's a cheat code for storytelling where you can skip pesky things like characterization, connectivity, plot, narrative, So it's like, it's a puzzle. It's a puzzle that generally doesn't come together at the end. And again, it's a cheating way of storytelling. It works occasionally, but you have to actually be a pretty intelligent person to pull off mystery box storytelling. What's a good example of mystery box storytelling? Fight Club's a good example of mystery box storytelling. That's a good example. What's a bad example? Everything by Jar Jar Abrams. Everything by David Lindelof. What was Rise of Skywalker? Mystery box. What was the Disney trilogy? Mystery box. How'd that turn out? First one did great because if you look at it, if you look at the amount of substance, actual substance that was in Force Awakens, it was nothing. It was absolutely nothing. Damon Lindelof. So Lanterns, I watched it. I was kind of with it for the first 10 minutes. I'm like, all right, I'm not crazy about this Hal Jordan, but I'm following it. It's not annoying the hell out of me. And then it hits a wall. And it starts annoying the hell out of me. Completely annoying the hell out of me. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe this thing rallies at the end because it's the first episode. So of a mystery box show. So there was next to nothing in it. But when we hit a ranch owner who could be an alien, I don't know. This might be a giveaway that he was an alien. A ranch owner is talking to Hal Jordan about an alien invasion. And instead of using the word conquering or invasion, he uses the word colonization. And my eyes just rolled to the fucking back of my head. It's like, okay, no normal person outside of a university or Hollywood would use the term colonization in a sentence ever, unless forced to. When you were talking about somebody taking over, you say conquer. So that word just stuck out with me. And I said it on the watch party. I'm like, that is really, I don't want to say an odd choice of words. It's a deliberate choice of words. We also had an alien that talked about the environment, an evil alien that talked about the environment and complained that we're too into sports with balls and not paying attention to our atmosphere and food and the unfortunate. Eyes rolled back in my head again. Jon Stewart gets it on with a gilf, and I use the term gilf very loosely. When I first saw it on my monitor, I'm like, I guess she's fine. But when you see her in the daylight, she's got like a witchy poo nose. So, like a normal dude going home with her at night. Okay. Aaron Pierre. And then she acts like she's the hot one. It's a little, my suspension of disbelief was suspended too much on that one. And then, of course, the end. I'm sure you've all seen the end. If not, plug your ears. 3, 2, 1. Hal Jordan gets a bullet in his head. We don't know who shot him. He's just sitting there dead, and he's got a bullet hole in his head, and he's dead. He dead. Now, could it be a shapeshifter? Could it be a fake, a construct from the Ring? I don't know. I'm kind of leaning toward, are they going to eventually make him Parallax? You got to lead up to Parallax. You can't just introduce Hal Jordan and go, Parallax. Makes no fucking sense, but this is James Gunn's DCU. I'm leaning towards, and I could be completely wrong, and I'll freely admit it if I am, that he's dead. Now, it's the manner of death that I think we need to think about. Like, did he kill himself to make way for John or something crazy? I don't know. We'll find out. We got a long way to go. We got 8 weeks of mystery box storytelling. 90% on Rotten Tomatoes. Okay. I'm not like super connected to Green Lantern lore. I'm not like this massive Green Lantern fan, but I like Hal Jordan. I like Heroes. And they're not wearing costumes. And when they do wear costume, which is in a flashback, it looks fucking terrible. And it's like that olive green for the olds out there of the crushed like velvet couch your parents had that had like cigarette burns in it. That was in the family room or that little lowered room that the sitting room they used to have in 70s homes, which are actually kind of cool. They need to bring those back. Yeah. Yeah, so, and no disrespect to Green Lantern. I'm not saying he sucks as a character. I'm just saying I was never really into him. Because I grew up a Marvel guy. I met a couple times Carmine Infantino, who is the guy who basically ushered in the modern era of DC that Stan Lee borrowed from heavily. And believe me, he was not alive anymore, but when he was alive, he would tell you. So he designed the modern Green Lantern costume, or the Hal Jordan one, and Barry Allen's Flash costume. He was the designer of those, domino mask. There's no domino mask, by the way, which I hate. Yeah. And he would talk about how Stan Lee lifted all of his ideas to go over to Marvel. And one time I was talking to him and I asked him to sketch me a Spider-Woman, because Carmine Infantino used to draw for Spider-Woman. He's really fucking good. So he was EIC at DC. And Stan was EIC at DC. And when they did the Superman and Spider-Man, the first crossover in the Treasury edition, there was a special edition you can get where they both signed it, right? Stan Lee and Carmine Infantino. In the midst of the signature process, Carmine Infantino was fired. So there is a very rare, and if anybody has one, I'll buy it. I had it in the store and then I sold it. A very rare Treasury edition of Amazing Spider-Man and Spider-Man, where it's signed by Stan Lee and numbered, and then there's a letter in there explaining why Carmine didn't sign it. I have been looking for that since I sold it for 20 years. They are fucking hard to find. There's probably maybe 100 in existence. But where was I going with that? Carmine Infantino. So I'm sitting down with him. He's sketching Spider-Woman, and Stan Lee walks by with like his entourage around him. And Carmine, he's on an oxygen tank. You know, he's at Comic-Con. People are passing by this legend, not even knowing who he is. And he goes, "That motherfucker, he thinks he's God." I just died laughing. It's so funny that that was a year before Stan Lee. I saw Stan Lee cuss somebody out, and I'm like, this is so weird. These are my childhood heroes, and they have such foul mouths, just like me. It's great. But Carmine was great. He couldn't remember. This was so fucking sad. He couldn't remember how to draw Spider-Woman, right? So he drew me this like shitty Spider-Woman, and I treasure it to this day. Poor guy. He didn't look healthy, probably didn't take care of himself, looked a little bitter. And like a lot of comic guys are, because he came up with a lot of ideas. Go look him up. He came up with a lot of ideas and is barely remembered. May he rest in peace. Fuck. You know what? I hope they bring MySpace back and then restore all my pictures from my Comic Outpost MySpace page, because I had a treasure trove of pictures. Who shot Green Lantern? I'm going to say he set himself up to be shot. I'm just trying to think like Damon Lindelof, right? Because the white man, they already have a white male Green Lantern, and that's Guy Gardner. So you need to think like they do. They're not going to have two white male Green Lanterns. John Stewart's going to be the main Green Lantern. So you can't have Hal out there. So they'll either make him a bad guy, or he'll be dead. And then he'll be the construct. There's a hologram construct that comes out of the ring. The ring lore, they don't get right. Correct me if I'm wrong in the chat, because I haven't read every Green Lantern comic. I was under the impression that you just can't, like, Hal Jordan just can't toss this ring to somebody and it'll work for him. I remember at one point it being like essentially a part, like Hal is a part of the ring is part of Hal. And didn't Kyle Rayner have a DNA lock on his? If I'm remembering correctly. If I'm remembering correct, I think the best way to describe Lanterns is deconstructing Hal. So, because Hal's an idiot, he's arrogant, he's a drunk. He's as Mahler said, he's disheveled. So something broke him at some point, and I'm sure we'll find out by episode 8. And they really are trying to make it like True Detective meets like a Taylor Sheridan show. Only if the Guardians want it. Yeah, like you guys can look it up. I don't care that much. But yeah, John Stewart can use the ring, apparently. And Aaron Pierre is a good John Stewart. I like the casting. It sucks that Hal Jordan is played the way he is, but I like the casting for the most part. And then there's a couple of girl bosses, because there has to be. It's Tom King. And for the people who don't think Tom King is involved, he got a story credit on this episode. And like, I've read enough Tom King comics to sense his contribution. Mr. Oedipus. Hal's not an idiot in that show. He kind of is. He's ahead of the sheriff. Sheriff lady is an idiot too. And to their credit, they show her as an idiot. But there's a scene that's stupid, like utterly stupid. Like there's a million different ways. you could have interrogated the prisoner. It's like, I'm going to start a fight to get in. And it was just there to set up the scene with Jon Stewart and Grandma. But Hal was a bit of a buffoon in the show. I'll give you a specific scene where he's a buffoon. Girl boss judge goes, okay, what branch of law enforcement are you from? And he goes, I'm a Green Lantern from the Green Lanterns. What? You don't say Green Lantern Corps? And then just the disrespect for a guy who had clearly saved the planet a couple of times, is wielding a great power. And they're just like, fuck you, I'm going to raise your bail. Fuck you. It's like, what the fuck? So maybe there's something to it. Maybe the entire town is aliens. Maybe. There is a couple of moments that I was into it with the interrogation scene. I was into that a little bit. I thought that one was decent. I wish there was more of that. But you could just tell the creators don't respect the source material, don't respect the comic book fan, don't respect middle America. But you know what? We're gonna go through the same cycle as we do all things from James Gunn's DCU. Garrett talked about it today. We'll go through the same cycle where anybody who even lightly criticizes the show will get a bunch of shit online, then it will disappear in 3 weeks. Damon Lindelof. Kyle Chandler could be a really good Hal Jordan. And there's like a nice version of him where it's like, it's better. So there's obviously a plot point that makes him this broken idiot. And yes, idiot. They make him a dumb hick. And that is not fucking Hal Jordan. Gary, I'm collecting X-Men Omnibus. I got Grant Morrison's run in Uncanny X-Force. What are some you recommend? I am not the biggest X-Men fan in the world. So the Omnibus that you should be getting, whatever the one is, that starts the I'm guessing it's probably volume 2. Omnibus 2, correct me if I'm wrong, chat, with that starts Claremont, Cockrum, and Burns run and go from there. X-Force isn't bad. Morrison's X-Men run isn't bad. Some changes there that I didn't love, but wasn't bad. But I believe that's I don't collect Omnibus. Paul's okay, dude. The fact that you brought up Paul Smith, hail, brother. Underrated artist. I have some original art from him. I met him multiple times. I think he's passed away now, right? All right. He did some West Coast Avengers too. Is he still with us? Why did I kill him when he's still with us? I am a bastard. Paul Smith is still with us. Thank God. He's only 72. Paul, I'm sorry, buddy. I'm terrible. Paul, I'm so sorry. Paul's still with us. Yeah, Paul's awesome. Really nice guy, too. I'm sorry, Paul. Now I feel bad. Oh, another thing we need to address. I got a weird email today. I've never had an email like this before. Maybe it's a new thing from YouTube. I don't know. I got an email warning of a privacy complaint from Friday Night Tights over this William Shatner nonsense. So Paul Smith just like, I will bury you. So I've never gotten a warning with the timestamp an exact timestamp. That timestamp, it just so happens to be when we bring up the person's name, who is what I believe to be William Shatner's website manager and person who maybe runs his Twitter account, or maybe not. I don't fucking know. It's odd. It's really odd because then nothing happened. I'm like, I didn't do anything, and I would fight it if it happened because you can show public X accounts on YouTube. That's not a privacy violation. Yeah, the crypto guy. Fucking Dan fucking Vask. So yeah, Dan, have you ever heard of that? Well, you don't make videos that would potentially get privacy complaints, but I got one before when during the strikes from one of the people who was on the picket lines and doing interviews, and I cut one of her interviews, and she tried to hit me for a privacy complaint for taking a public interview from a public broadcast news organization. So yeah, I don't know what's going on with the William. I don't care. I thought it's funny for a little while, but I don't care. I want to remain blocked at this point. I would like to stay blocked. I am fine. I love William Shatner. He is my Capitan, my El Capitan. And I just want to remain blocked. I'm good. It's silliness. Because I guess William Shatner went out and said he runs his Twitter account. I don't think all the time, but that's just my opinion. Gary, in your opinion, is Hot D seasons 2 or 3 had 10 episodes like it intended to have? Do you think the season 3's original ending would have been? I still think it would have been this. I still think it would have been Tumbleton. It's hard to say. They might have had what they might have had is Tumbleton. They stretched it out a little bit. Tumbleton would be the penultimate episode, and then they'd have like a mop-up episode. That being said, if ifs and buts were candy and nuts, we'd all have a Merry Christmas, and my uncle would be a aunt. Slain Hope is a new member. Welcome. Watch some Stargate with X-Ray when she does live, Gary. It's good for the soul. Allison Chains reigns. I love Allison Chains. Big Beefy is a new member. Welcome. Hale, have you gotten your copy of Project Hail Mary 4K? It's awesome. Not yet, but I haven't checked the mail today. I did. I'm going to show it off tomorrow. I did get my Cylon helmet, which is just fucking awesome. All right, let's get to the squaring up. I talked way more. I know Perry's like, I really want to clip that, but we're going to save it for the review. Plus, we'll probably talk about it tomorrow on Real BBC. Real BBC. Where in the fuck did it go? What's this? No. Really? How did I not know this? Oh, he puts the okay. So I was looking at there's a deleted scene from Age of Ultron that explains why Captain America eventually stops wearing the helmet, and it says fascist over. It's like fucking hell, dude. Maybe that's the reason they fired Joss Whedon. Where am I? There we go. Fucking Hollywood. They never leer, do they? Well, it's probably the fact that you have to bathe in the local pond and can't shower because you don't have any running water. I'm just going to say, that's all I'm going to say, Dan. No, something is very fishy about the William Shatner Twitter account. Now, he could be on Twitter. That could be him. That's a possibility. 96-year-old man. Maybe. If you ask me what my opinion is, I don't think it's him. And let's just say, let's use hypotheticals like they did in Green Lantern, Dan. Let's just use hypotheticals. I'm gonna give you a hypothetical scenario that if somebody else is using a celebrity's account and they are trying to pass themselves off as the celebrity, even with the celebrity's permission, I would be very fucking careful poking at the internet, because eventually you're going to poke somebody who's really autistic, and then it will spread, and the internet autism will do their work, do what they do, and they will look into things and they will find things. And that is not a shitstorm you want. Hypothetically. I mean, I don't. That's the thing, is like, I'm like, whoever runs it, I don't care. I don't care. It all started with a compliment, with a fucking compliment. Never fuck with the internet. And if they smell blood, they're like autistic piranha. Let's get savvy on it. Why would, listen, I wouldn't wish savvy on my worst enemy, Dan. She'll fly up like a bird of prey, and then with her big bird feet, she'll clasp on to the highest branch, look down with her eagle autistic eyes. Love you, Savvy. Just kidding. A little bit. Yeah, I don't, whoever fuck it. I don't know if this person keeps saying shit, more people are going to look into it. I'm not, because I don't care. I'm done. Keep me blocked. I'm going to move on about my day. All right. But be careful. I like Smashing Pumpkins quite a bit. Jimmy Chamberlain's a fucking great drummer. I don't like their electronic phase. Just the first few albums, Siamese Dream, Gish. Love STP. I do. San Diego band. Mighty Joe Young. That's how they started out. But Scott Weiland, may he rest in peace, not a good dude. Not a good dude. Like when you pass away and then your ex, I mean, it's your ex, but your ex puts out a letter, I think to Rolling Stone, saying, don't make this guy a hero. He forgot his kid's birthday. You know, it's like, now, is it an embittered ex? Yes. But addiction's kind of fucked up too. So, Freckleback. That would be a good parody band. The Stone Temple Pilots, I remember, Eric remembers because he's old like me. Remember, they were posers. They were posers. The MTV did a skit on 120 Minutes on how they were posers. And in the meantime, They were actually making better music than most grunge bands. Alice in Chains, STP, of the grunge. You can't call Smashing Pumpkins grunge. They were alternative. They were the best. I like Soundgarden. Nirvana was fine. There's no doubt when Smells Like a Teen Spirit, when that song first played, it like you can feel the shift. Like the shift happened overnight in music. And it was kind of crazy to behold what that shift was. But when it was all said and done, like In Utero, the album's okay. Super Unknown's better. Super Unknown is a great fucking album. STP is a lot better than Pearl Jam. Hell yeah. Any thoughts on Concrete Blonde? They were pretty cool. I saw them live a couple times. God is a Bullet. Candlebox or Silverchair? Wait. Where's that one? They're the same picture. They're the same picture. I mean, they're inoffensive. Love Queens of the Stone Age. Fuck yeah. Rated R? Holy shit. That was a good album. Then the bass player beat the shit out of his girlfriend. Foo Fighter greater than... Okay, that's a good point. What is the best Alice in Chains album? It's this one. And there's no question. There is no question at all. An EP. An acoustic EP. Every song's a banger. I listen to that thing more than I care to say. Dave Matthews Band poured shit on people. That's what they're known for. That's a good first concert right there. Toadies are okay. Do I like Billy Joel? Some of his stuff, yeah. His older stuff. Sonic Youth, they're all right. Tool, I like Tool. I like Nine Inch Nails. My first concert was Kiss on their Dynasty tour. I was 9 years old, and I was there with my buddy Billy Hodap and my mom reading a book. So my mom read when she used to take us places and like get a little flashlight out and read books. So she took me to Blade Runner, read a book. She took me to freaking Kiss. I'm like, Mom, what's that stuff that smells like a skunk? And she's all, it's marijuana. It's very bad for you. Ooh, Iron Maiden or Ozzy? Iron Maiden. I like Ozzy too. May he rest in peace. Stabbing Westward School. I've seen Audio Slave. They opened up for Jane's Addiction one year. Wasn't a fan. Queensryche, Operation Mindcrime. That album fucking rules. That was the only cassette I had in a rehab I was in, so I just listened to it all the time. What's the best song you like by a band you don't? That's such That's a really good question. Does a cover count? Does a cover song count? So Frankie Goes to Hollywood's cover of Born to Run is superior than Bruce Springsteen's. I said it. Johnny Cash's Hurt is superior to Nine Inch Nails' Hurt. Yeah, Springsteen does suck. Motorhead fucking rules. Lemmy, may he rest in peace. Metal God. All right, let's get to the peeps. And this is from last Friday. Hollywood Wasteland, Cali versus Paramount, DC production freeze. Matthew Hammond starts out with $3, says, Nina Infinity, Nerd Cookies, and that Star Wars girl are bigger fans of Stargate. I am a fan of new people watching Stargate. I am glad Gary and X-Ray Girl are watching it. A lot of people, Stargate has got an amazing fandom. And I almost, hear me out, Stargate fans. I almost don't want you to get anything new because I don't want to see what's happened to other fandoms happen to you guys. Because it will. It will fucking happen. The only reason I even started making Lord of the Rings videos, my first one was a warning because we were watching what was going on in the Star Wars fandom after The Last Jedi. And I'm like, I don't want to see this happen to the Lord of the Rings fandom. It's such a friendly fandom. And it did. And it's a bummer. It is a bummer. So hear me out. I hope you guys just have what you have and enjoy it. You can't go home again. I think the closest chance you had was shot down by Amazon because they're retarded. Amish for $5. I would be interested in a Dean Cain older Superman movie where he puts together a young Justice League team, have a Batman that is older, that is his peer. That would set up a path forward and get back to heroism in the story, could bounce new philosophy against older. Nothing's stopping them from doing that, Amish. They could do that as a TV movie that's separated from everything else, and potentially people would enjoy the hell out of it. But it's weird how Warner Brothers and DC hold back the big boys, mostly Batman, and they'll roll with peripheral shows. Now, Superman is it's not even questionable, is the most successful superhero on serialized television. That he has had the most successes. And we can go back to the Saturday morning serials, the George Reeves, Superboy in the late 80s and early 90s. That ran for a couple, 3 seasons. Lois and Clark, Smallville, the CW Superman, which was pretty good. It's better than James Gunn's Superman. I quite like it. But no Batman shows. It's insane. I want a Monster of the Week Hellboy show, or if Batman Justice League Dark. Handsome Rob, the makeup would be difficult. But you don't even have to do a Monster of the Week, because Hellboy, for my fellow comic book readers out there, Hellboy has some of the best, tightest lore in all of comics. So Mignola wrote a fantasy series, essentially. I read Hellboy. You will thank me later. You could do BPRD too, but you just read Hellboy. And they have library editions that you can pick up. BPRD is awesome too. Mignola is a acquired taste as far as his art, sure, but his storytelling is top notch. Handsome Rob for $10. Oh, and thank you for the $10. Soups. We're in the soups portion. Those were donations. WG Actual has gifted 5 Nerdrotic memberships for $25. Darth Yeager has gifted 5 for $25. Max Relax has gifted 1 for $5. Jesus Davila, which he does every week. Jesus, bless you, my friend, has gifted 1 Nerdrotic membership. Bless all you guys. And thank you for understanding that we have to do square ups. I appreciate that. I do. That's why I turn off the soups to give them their due. What we're trying to work on more is getting to panel questions on FNT. So I'm not answering for somebody else. We're always trying to get better. Progress, not perfection. Cody MacArthur for $4.99. Are any of y'all excited about this Crystal Lake series coming to Peacock in October? I am not, but I don't know. I'm not a fan of slasher stuff. So I don't like Scream. I don't like Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I don't like I like Halloween. I like Halloween. That's about it. But yeah, I don't like slasher horror. I like supernatural horror. It's just a taste thing. You know, I know that a lot of people love it though. And listen, I understand why people watched it in the 80s because there was boobs everywhere. But I'm sure they were watching it for the story. You guys need to talk to Kirsha about Bridge. It is what several NGOs state that plan the sneaky woke subversion into corpos and media. We've had her on the show and talked about it. Yeah. Yeah, but I mean, and hail Kirsha. She done some great work on that. So hail Kirsha. Don't mean to take anything away from her because she's done some brilliant work and she really was instrumental in putting Bridge out in the zeitgeist and getting people talking about it. That being said, I mean, thinking that Hollywood would just utterly change, I think that's a bit naive, just to be nice. It's a bit naive. They're going to get smarter and rebrand and more subtle. And I mean, they've done it. They fucking pulled it off because they pulled out their big guns. You know, it's like it would be like they did a Pride night in the 90s and they had Michael Jordan champion it. It's what they did with Nolan. And that's just an analogy that's off the top of my head. I'm sure I can think of a better one, but yeah, they did it. Now, the problem is there are entities in Hollywood who want to get away from that shit. And it'll never, I don't know, nothing will ever satisfy anybody. But it's clear that Marvel is trying. I'll give them that. It's clear that they're trying. I don't think they can pull it off because it's the same people who were doing the stupid shit before. But they're trying. Look at the X-Men cast. So far, it's like, whoa. It's almost shocking. Now they have to work on that whole storytelling thing, character arc thing, characterization thing. I don't know. So they're trying, but it's surface level. Next year, Gary is renting out the Sphere, says Eric K for $2. No. No. What's it cost to rent out the Sphere? A few million? Here, I'm checking it. not that I'm going to do it. How much does it cost to rent out the Sphere? Oh, it's not, hey guys, I think we can do it. Oh, wait, no. That's the exterior. So if you want to rent out the exterior for an ad, it's $450,000 to $650,000. Pocket change. A full revenue or full venue rental, industry estimates suggest a full buyout for a corporate event likely exceeds $1 million, with some reports citing figures around $3 million per day to cover facility costs, staffing, and technical requirements. Private suites, which is far more realistic, range from $3,000 to $35,000. Yeah, nah. I have a better idea. I have a good idea. This is an idea that we were going to run with 2 years ago and didn't. But next year's Las Vegas meetup will be during CinemaCon, which is April 13th to 15th. And we will be returning to an old location with a different twist. But that is definitely when the meetup is. So if you want to make your plans, that's when the meetup will be. And we'll get you more information later, because the UK is going to be in September. So I have to do the meetup in April. I despise. Okay, so Chirp Ignat for 25 Polish pesos says, I despise you turd shorts. I watch you turd for the long form content. Same here. I am not a fan of shorts. I don't watch them. For people who make them, that's awesome. I don't watch them. I don't. Jackson Cagle, thank you for the $10. Walks away, doesn't say anything. The Culture Ward for $10 says, Hail Fellowship. I'm trying to build my channel, but they are burying my videos lately. Not quitting my day job anytime soon. Just keep going. Do it as a hobby and realize there are ups and downs. It's depending on what you cover, everything has its ups and downs. The NFL has an off season. Politics, has midterms. Hollywood has hot months and cold months. We're in a cold month, which allows you to experiment. So that's what I would do. In the down parts, experiment a little. Depending on what content you do. If you're doing videos, I would try practicing evergreen. Defcon Prime's Cringe Cast Corner for $2 says, I've got 1,555 subs. Is that good? My shorts get views. That's a good amount of subs. That's a great amount of subs. So we were talking about they boosted the watch time from required watch time to get monetized from 4,000 to 8,000. That is completely possible. It just takes a little longer. Why are they doing that? I don't know. They made a huge announcement today, and I don't know what to make of it. Starting August 24th, YouTube is going to change how they count views. And it's kind of sounding like they're moving towards impressions, which is going to skyrocket a lot of people's views. I mean, shit. But a lot of people are like, well, welcome back, clickbait. Clickbait never went away. But, and in the truest form of clickbait, which is my video says one thing and that thing isn't really in there. Or, for example, like White House or UFO lands on the White House lawn, and it's some Daily Mail article about somebody putting a fake UFO on the White House lawn or some bullshit like that. You know, that kind of clickbait. Now, you can have hyperbolic and sensational titles, but as long as you're talking about the thing that's in your title, I think you're fine. But yeah, the minute somebody goes over your thumbnail, that's, I mean, the first second, that's going to count as a view. Sounds like Hollywood Reporter guy is still waiting for his Riva laser sword to arrive because he's the bestest ever, says Southeastern Kaiju for $5. Nerdrotic, remember Woke Green Lantern Volume 1, 76, 1970, the woke issue? Maybe Lanterns is inspired by that issue. Is it Green Lantern, Green Arrow? I don't remember that one. Turn 76. Yeah, that's Green Lantern, Green Arrow. Denny O'Neil, Neil Adams run. The one where Hal was like the conservative and Green Arrow was the liberal, but Green Arrow was always right. William J. Like the art was fantastic because it's Neil Adams, but yeah. Here's a couple of movie pitches. Dinosaurs Attack in the style of Ray Harryhausen, the EOS BT instead of a suburb. It's a small southern town full of redneck survivalists or a whole city block of full gangsters. Like dinosaurs invading like East LA. I'd fucking watch the hell out of that. That would be awesome. Essays versus dinosaurs. Vatos versus dinosaurs. Be fucking awesome. Speedy, you're on drugs. Norteños versus dinosaurs. We can get Pauly to write the script. Latino slant. I'd watch the shit out of that. And then in like this ultimate like come together moment, like ICE and the Border Patrol would come in to back them up to fight the dinosaurs, and then they'd all get along. Just trying to bring people together, man. Tay-Tay for $2. Next Friday is going to be lit. Oh, with Gundam, 420 episode. That's right. Thomas Panerup for 20 Danish krona. Shad, pipe down. Emus beat your military. They did. Buster Nutsbash for $19.99. My new bar for special effects is Godzilla -1 at 10 million. The Bib for $2. JJ stole this idea from Eric Flint's Aceta Shards. There's another, I can't remember the name of the book. There's another book that has dinosaurs attacking a suburban neighborhood. I can't remember. It came out around the time Jurassic Park came out during the dinosaur craze. One moment. Something Terra, I think. Yeah, I can't remember what it was. Razor said it first. Hollywood was always red. Yes, Dreadnought Logan, that has not changed. The difference between old and new Trek is that the writers used to focus on cultures, whereas modern Trek focuses on race. Not the same. No. And they're not even smart enough to handle anything like allegory. They're just not. George Orwell, anyone? Asked Kyle Hipchin for $1.99. Jesus taught in parables for a reason, says Lady Greymaster. Chairman Mao killed more Chinese than Genghis Khan. Yes. Hail Mukban Gary. Hail. Rowling is laughing all the way to the bank. Oh, yeah, because they Hogwarts Legacy 2 is coming out. The show is coming out. She just keeps reprinting books and selling them by the millions. Yeah, she's doing okay. She's a billionaire. Joshua Calkins for $4.99. Hi, Gary. Chris G was off. Both Star Trek and Star Wars got better at first when the creators backed off. DS9 and ESB each had bad ideas as well. It's Taylor Sheridan's show. When is he going to show up on a horse as a self-insert? Any moment now in the Lioness. Love the channel. Keep up the fantastic work. Hope to give a shout out to a friend of mine on a new channel, The Bark Side. The Bark Side. Too Slow Gaming. There you go. Go check it out. First episode live will always have Paris. I was 8 years old and absolutely fascinated by Brent and LeVar. The Durbingle for $4.99. My dad and I watch y'all's stuff, except Ryan. Go Army, beat Navy. If you have a meetup in OKC or Tulsa, we'll be there, hands down. Well, I drive close to Tulsa, like a couple times a year, driving up to Wisconsin, but that's as close as I get. Griff Nizzle for 20 says, to be fair for the special ops clips, her character isn't military. She's CIA. She doesn't have the official rank, so it's not two officers arguing. It's a pilot telling a spook she fucked up and put people in danger. Tay-Tay has dropped $1. Jackson Cagle just says dues for $5. Thank you. The last chance for $5. And now their whole new talents now, thanks to YouTube movie creator like Obsession and other independent movies. I'm trying to read this. Maker now to replace new actors to hire. Wonder if something was lost in translation there. Thank you for the $5, though. Ball Eagle for 20 says, I'm wondering if Ellison and WB shareholders are getting ready for a lawsuit against California and the other states operating in bad faith to interfere with a merger that's been approved by regulators and the shareholders. They responded today with they want the court to order a bond that the 12 states and the WGA, everybody involved in the lawsuit, can contribute to the tune of $1.9 billion to cover any costs to the delay. That they are causing. I don't know if they'll get it through. I don't know if they'll get it through. All Hail Friday Night Tights says Alucard for $2. Thank you. Larry Escher for $2. Comics cranks his mic to 11 to make up for the height. Maybe. Yeah, his mic's always hot for some reason. Literal vampire pot belly goblins are hobbling around coming after us, says John, the casual artist. You all inspired me to start a channel. 64 subs strong. Hail. Hey, Will Must Lift for $4.99. We all start somewhere. I remember when I hit 50. I was like, whoa. Are those people real? I hope the court makes them pay, but the problem is, like with WB and Paramount, all these courts are in California or states that are friendly, blue states, basically. So they're all going to. I hope you've noticed what's happening with lawfare, which has always gone on, but it's being cranked up now. And now our justice system is supposed to be blind, but now it's political. And now a lot of people in this country, rightly so, don't trust elections. I hope you understand this is the end result they wanted. They want you to lose faith in these institutions. They want to corrupt these institutions so they can come in and change them. And that's exactly what's going on. Would the gang ever consider a meetup in Dallas? Mostly because I'm selfish. Mikey G, we've done one in Dallas. I'd do one. It's close enough. I would definitely do one. Dale Mang for 5. If Loki prunes Steve's timeline in Doomsday, that is the timeline where he passes on the shield, so he will eliminate phases 4 and 5. Well, man, you're making me like the movie now. Bass Player 2011 for $4.99 says, and while you are slaughtering countless of innocents, drown out their screams of pain with Raycon everyday earbuds. The Singing Bush for $7.99 Australian pesos. Well, I'm not dead. Doctor is very happy with how I'm going post OP. I'm glad you're not dead. Thank you for not being dead. Thank you for the super chat, but thank you more for being alive. I appreciate it. Hopefully go home next week and the results of the pathology are positive. Fuck cancer. Fuck cancer. Singing Bush, that's great news, brother. Prayers up. Tell Jeremy to get off his ass and jump on it to FNT, says Eddie Brock for $2.49. You tell him. Nikki Lou for $4.99. Dad joke of the week. Where do you bring someone who was injured playing peekaboo? The ICU. That was pretty good. That's pretty good. From one dad to another, well done. Bungles Twanger for $2. Las Vegas is inexpensive. Rooms at the Luxor are $50 a night midweek, and they're about $50 a night at Excalibur. And they're okay. But we're not talking about rooms. We're talking about drinks, food, parking, transportation, Ubers, everything else. Like eating at a restaurant, even the buffets are expensive now. Varn for €5 says, Gary, I can also suggest you listen to Cephas Cain series and only then return back to Horus Heresy books. In my opinion, they are better entry point. Okay. But I've already started the Horus. Yeah. How big is the font on that ad copy? Asked Bass Player. Fucking big. But I have new glasses now. Scott Stewart for £5 Lots of love from Scotland. Did you see the eclipse? We simply saw clouds. X-Ray Girl, we love you over here. Simp. I saw an eclipse a couple years ago here in Texas. It was great. Peter Puffer has donated $1. David Hand, highly organized, has donated $20. Paul Kelly says, happy anniversary. Hail to the fellowship. Whose anniversary is it? Well, whoever's anniversary it is, happy anniversary. Paul, thank you for the $2. Gary and Jeremy, correction tax. I mean, correction on being retarded. I don't think there's any cure for me and Jeremy being retarded. We're very happy that way. Callum G for £2. I'm watching you all very carefully. Okay. And Gary and Jeremy tax, says Captain JPS for $2. Hail. Or gay. Mayonnaise is the greatest song ever. Is it? The Strip smells like ass water. I'm going to say the Strip cleaned up in the last couple of years. It did. It was getting pretty dirty but it seemed cleaner to me this time around. Now, maybe it was the 114-degree heat that just burned everything off the fucking sidewalk. Thanks. Right back at you. I am not going to Dragon Con because Dragon Con's in Atlanta and you couldn't pay me to go to Atlanta. It's bad enough just driving through it. I suffer from homosexuality. Whatever you got to tell yourself. We don't judge here. We make a lot of gay jokes. We make a lot of jokes about gay people or being gay, but it's actually not about being gay. It's about being retarded. But I'll speak for myself. I don't have a problem with gay people. Never have. Is Tom Morello the biggest commie in music? Yes. Not even questionable. And the funniest thing is he's the biggest capitalist in music too. Go look what they were charging for tickets at the last Rage concert. Shout out. Filoni Outpost. Oh my God, there was an interview. Ryan was showing a fucking interview with him. And he was like, oh my God, we're talking Kylo Ren. It's it's not, he's not here right now, Kylo Ren. Oh my God. I knew you were going to ask that question. It's such a good question. I'm making a movie about my blow up doll, Ahsoka. Oh my God. I gotta find that fucking video. Let's go. Let's see if this works. Hey, it worked. Okay, listen to this shit. Ryan does a better impression because he hates him more, but and there has to be a certain amount of hate or love behind an impression. But check this shit out. This is hilarious. Oh, shit. Sorry. It was going through the wrong speakers. Boomer. Here we go.
Where's the Kylo Ren movie?
Here we go, right off the bat. That's so choice. I love it. It's story all I could tell you. It's not here. You won't find it here. The Force is not with us in that regard. But that's okay. I appreciate you asking. I love the love you feel for it. Totally fair.
Where's the Kylo Ren movie?
Here we go, right off the bat.
Guy sounds like a leaking fucking tire. You know what? He's married. There is no masculinity there to be found, and that is evident in his storytelling. And that is the biggest thing missing from Hollywood today is masculinity. End of. What's missing from Doctor Who? Masculinity. What's missing from Star Trek? Masculinity. What's missing from Star Wars? Masculinity. What was in Marvel that they have decided to get rid of and are trying to get back? Masculinity. Yeah, I mean, listen. If I just walked up to Dave Filoni for the first time, I'd be like, oh, this dude's gay. Maybe we can get Ryan to do his impression on FNT because it's pretty good. It's pretty good. But I'm going to save all the trailer reactions and everything for tomorrow. Tomorrow's my birthday. Apparently, he's not gay. I mean, I don't know how much I believe that. I don't know how much you believe that. Yes, it's my 50th birthday. It's my 7th, 50th birthday. What was the is it Dana Carvey? What was the routine where he's the effeminate straight man? What was he really called though? Yeah, I'm old. I'm blanking on what he was. And then there's Kyle Dunnigan with Caddy Daddy. That was pretty funny. But don't play any of his videos because then he'll go through and copyright claim all of them. So all the Kyle Dunnigan videos that we played 5 years ago, he went through and copyright claimed them all. Toonses? What the hell? Okay, so yeah, Lyle, the effeminate heterosexual. Played by Dana Carvey. And then Kyle Dunnigan did Caddy Daddy, for which he will copyright any clip you play of it. Well, if it's transformative, I mean, if you're just re-uploading his videos, then he's got every right to do it. But if it's transformative and we're just reacting to shit and laughing at it, you know. Fucking comedians. Yeah, what else? Oh, Reacher. I can talk about Reacher a little bit. So Ryan and I are going to do probably a couple of live streams. We'll do a mid-season if we can find the time, and then end of season, brief, spoiler-free. First 3 episodes are fine. A lot of Deus Ex Machina. Biggest takeaway, though, is we have yet another entry into the League of Extraordinary Black Female Police Detectives. And you thought the list of race-swapped gingers was big. I feel like I need to put Steph's autism on finding me an image of every black female detective that's been in a TV show or movie in the last 10 years. And that would be a big fucking list. And it's such a noticeable trope that I just randomly didn't Google. I went into the Brave search function and I just put, why are there so many? I think I even put it in Discord. Hang on. I did to save it. All right. So I put in, why are there so many black female detectives in film and television? The prevalence of black female detectives in film and television is driven by a combination of historical blaxploitation legacy, industry diversity initiatives, and narrative tropes that position these characters as resilient, authoritative figures. Historical roots. The modern template was significantly shaped by 1970s blaxploitation. And there's a whole paragraph. Industry diversity and representation. Television producers have increasingly moved away from tokenism toward nuanced representation by making every show have a black female detective. Narrative function and tropes. In crime dramas, black female detectives often serve as a feminist as feminist agents who solve crimes rooted in patriarchy. I saw that and I'm like, based. The reason this trope exists is because Hollywood wants to bridge the gap between the police, for which they want to continue making police dramas, and what they perceive as the problem the Black community has with the police. So what's the best way to juxtapose that? Well, you use the most oppressed of the oppressed community, which is the Black female, and you make her the cop and you put her in power. So it was unusual. It was an unusual and surprising and subversive and, interesting move, when they had 2 or 3. Now it's every fucking show. So now it's a trope, and it's a played out trope. I'm wondering how many Black female detectives there are in the country. And I think they're overrepresented in the shows. But it's a way to make the cops friendlier, because Hollywood doesn't like the police because they see the police as oppressing marginalized people like criminals. And they still want to make police dramas. So they make the marginalized people police to put them in power. This is Hollywood's thinking. Now, Hollywood loves the police when somebody's breaking into their house. They love them then, but then they hate them. They love the police who will block off blocks of a city so they can shoot their pretend and inconvenience parents trying to pick up their kids from school. Fucking Wachowskis and the fucking 4th Matrix movie was being filmed right across the street from my son's school. Took an hour to fucking pick them up because they're filming that stupid piece of shit fucking movie. So like 6%. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I got a little bit of a resentment. I mean, the 4th Matrix movie sucks, but it really sucks for inconveniencing me and all the other parents. Would I feel different if the Matrix 4 was good? You know what? Maybe. I would. I'd feel like I sacrificed my time for something that was contributing to the culture as good art. So yes, I'd feel a little better about it. Except it ended up being a creatively bankrupt piece of shit that was self-aware and meta about it being creatively bankrupt, yet it still turned out to be a creatively bankrupt piece of shit. Follow me on that one? A Black female Bronx detective just got charged with driving her gang member son to commit a drive-by in front of a court. Are you kidding me? You've got to be kidding me. I can believe that, though. Alleged. I could believe it. Sci-fi for simpletons. You know, Star Trek fans used to say that about Star Wars. And some still do. I didn't say that, but some have. Angry Cops did a video on it. Oh, I got to watch it. I love Angry Cops. He's funny as hell. Star Wars is science fantasy. You're right. It's not pure sci-fi, KG Jung. It is science fantasy. What? No. No. How long ago was this video? You got to be kidding me. Bronx police commissioner. Oh my God. It came out yesterday. The real story behind the police drive-by, a police commissioner's downfall. Hang on. Well, I highly recommend you watch it. I want him to get the click. So go to Angry Cops and watch that. I'm going to watch that video. Fucking crazy. But you know what? Is it really that surprising? None of you are really that surprised. You're like, shoot. Mount Vernon, New York. Hail Angry Cops. Give him a sub if you haven't already. And no, none of you are surprised. You're like, yep. So it was Hated Pantiera. I always say her last name wrong. Ryan said it right this morning. Was an opioid drug overdose. Is this true? Well, let's go to fuck. I hate to go to TMZ. Fuck those pieces of shit. Is somebody getting arrested? I'm not seeing anything. Hang on. That's probably because I'm going to TMZ. It's under investigation. People magazine 9 hours ago. Hayden Panettiere suffered apparent overdose. Ugh. Suffered apparent overdose, was unresponsive as advanced life support was administered before death. The actress died at a residence in Greenville, South Carolina on August 16th. Hayden, I'm just going to say Hayden, was found unresponsive in South Carolina and pronounced dead despite advanced life support efforts. Authorities are investigating her death, but have found no signs of foul play or suspicious circumstances so far. She was known for roles, blah, blah, blah. I'm looking for opioid. The preliminary investigation has not indicated any signs of foul play. I hate repeated lines. On August 17th, the Greenville County Coroner's Office shared an update as to what happened when authorities answered the 911 call. First responders and emergency medical arrived at the scene and located a female in cardiac arrest. EMS personally initiated advanced cardiac. On August 17th, the source tells people that Narcan was found at the scene. Narcan is a treatment designed to rapidly reverse the effects of life-threatening opioid emergency. Okay. So she's had a history of drug addiction in the past. So I don't know for sure. Not saying you guys are wrong. It's very sad. It's just if this is the case, hypothetically, if this is the case, this is just another case of opioids killing people. There are a lot of companies, a lot of fat cats getting rich off the death of millions of people. And COVID deaths, while any death is bad, the numbers are insignificant compared to opioid deaths of the last 10 years. It is the true epidemic. It is the true pandemic. It is a blight on our society. We have fentanyl out there, which is the most dangerous thing I've ever seen. And it was just coming on the scene right when I relapsed and stopped. And I'm pretty sure some of my Coke was cut with fentanyl because I would be doing Coke and falling asleep. Now, that's not entirely unusual if you haven't had enough sleep, but I'm just glad I survived, and a lot of people have not. And in and out, through my time in recovery, I can't tell you how many people I've seen just never come back to meetings because they died. And that's the hardest part of being a sponsor. When somebody just goes back out, but then they go back out and die, it's tough to grapple with. Lots of sleepless nights of what could I have done different. Yeah. And then there's she's a child actress. She just came out with a book talking about getting fondled, getting a female friend taking her on a boat in the Mediterranean, I believe it was, and forcing her to have sex with a well-known British pop star, an Oscar-winning actor. Like, Hollywood eats their young. These are the motherfuckers who go out and constantly tell us how to live, criticize the administration, which they're free to do. Like there's some moral authority. And these motherfuckers are the most degenerate, sickest fucks on the planet. The ones who knew about Harvey Weinstein and didn't say anything. The ones who know about whoever because there's another Harvey Weinstein. You think they cleaned up Hollywood? No, there's another Harvey Weinstein. There might be 10. And all the people know about it and they're not saying anything. Why did Me Too stop at men and kids? Interesting, isn't it? Like it was only women. As gay as Hollywood is, it was only women. Wasn't men. It wasn't kids. Weird how they stopped. That stopped. It must have not happened. So they eat their young. If you love your children, don't let them go to Hollywood. Very sad. What's the youth mortality rate from Hollywood? I'm sure the percentages are insanely high. But they're gonna come out and tell us what president's a decent man. Somebody like Al Pacino is gonna tell us who's a decent man. What skeletons you got in your closet? Yes, Hollywood did love Clinton, who got it on with a 19-year-old in the Oval Office, but some people are freaking out over a UFC fight on the White House lawn. Gary, we know you feel about PJ and you like Soundgarden. How did you feel about Temple of the Dog? Say hello to heaven was all right, but not a lot of strong feelings either way, to be honest with you. Lord Geenan has gifted 1 membership. Thank you. Hail to you, Christopher Peak. Slain Hope is a new member. Cheers. I hope not. That's going to be a bad day for everybody. That's why you got to live life to the fullest. A pole shift can happen. A big rock could come from the sky. And then it's all over. How is Monica doing these days? I think probably doing a podcast with everybody else. Ain't no party like a Diddy party. Yep. I mean, dude, his junk works at 80. But like having a kid at 80, that kid ain't going to have a dad very long. But they don't think about stuff like that. Corey did nothing wrong. Neither of the Coreys did. The Coreys were victims of Hollywood, and one's dead and the other one's completely fucked in the head. Poor guy. Oh, Jose Taco, is that real? Hang on, Jose Taco. God bless you, man. There it is right there. Holy shit. I'll be damned. You son of a bitch. Yeah, Corey did nothing wrong. Thanks, Jose Taco. And she had a great ass. Didn't Charlie supposedly diddle Haim? Supposedly, those are the accusations. Who knows if it's true? I mean, I don't know. I don't want to get in any trouble. But Charlie was on a decades-long coke bender, a multiple. Like he cleaned up, went on a coke bender, cleaned up, went on another coke bender. Which projector did I get? I got to look at the brand. So, I remember it from 8 months ago when I ordered it. It took forever to build the screen because they had to build a new screen. But it's a short throw projector, so it's like this wide. And it sits on a coffee table right below the screen and it shoots up. So it's a laser projector. It's fucking like it is unbelievable, Matthew. It is but I'll get you the brand. I can't remember what it was because I bought it like 8 months ago. It took forever for this to happen. Expensive. Not top of the line expense. Not like fucking 30 grand. That's ridiculous. Freaking laser beam. But even it's upscale. And that wasn't Temu. Its upscaling is pretty good. I was watching some Roku Doctor Who channel, classic Doctor Who, and it made it look as good as it could. So according to the Netflix doc, Charlie claims he didn't. And listen, that shit happens in Hollywood. We know it happens for a fact. You make that claim, though, you need to back it up with evidence. But the thing is, how do you prove that, right? So I don't know what to believe. I don't want to believe Charlie Sheen did that. I don't. But do I think it's possible? Yes. Sean Penn is one sick freak. Oh, he and I used to share a coke dealer in the Bay Area. And I know that because the coke dealer told me. Now, I guess he could have been lying. Did I ever do crack? No. That is way harder for me to give up than meth or coke. Last day, 3909, by the way. Hail. Well done. No, I never touched crack. I never shot up a drug or smoked it. I smoked meth once and I hated it. It was disgusting. So yeah, I never shot up drugs or I never smoked crack. I had standards, okay? Promo code pillow. And I didn't do heroin. Never did heroin. But I might as well have when I got to opioids, oxys, Vicodin. Oxys are, whew, that shit'll kill you. But no, thankfully I didn't do any of the super hards. I've just smoked a shit ton of weed. But I never really liked it. I did it to fall asleep. I was a speed guy. Yeah, oxys are big trouble. Big trouble. The first time I took one, Paul, and it kicked in, I'm like, oh, I'm fucked. Yes. It's all shit. Raw dog life. It's the best way to go. That's the way Michael Collins put it. He's all, you raw dog life. And I'm all, yeah, I guess I do. Wouldn't want it any other way. Let's see what we got here. I'm just chilling right now. We're through with the square up, so let's just chitter chat a little bit. Hang on. I'm responding to Garrett. Okay, Nooner research. That's what I wanted. Okay. Talked about that. Lanterns is certified fresh. Yeah, it's at 90%. Wow, I'm going against the grain again. That's never happened. That's the funny thing is this channel and many others have always gone against the grain. I don't know where this perception came from that that we represent the majority of fandom. Because I don't think there's a consensus strong enough. I think in certain cases, you know, like the Marvels or Acolyte or Supergirl or even Rings of Power, sure. But a lot of people like The Last Jedi. A lot of fucking people like The Force Awakens. Now, nobody liked The Rise of Skywalker. But it just depends on the flick, right? It just depends on the flick. But Going against the grain is a day that ends in Y around here. X-Men reboot. All right, we're gonna save Doctor Doom and the X-Men stuff for mañana. So Jerry Bruckheimer confirms talks with Johnny Depp for Pirates of the Caribbean. Those talks have been going on for the last couple of years. And I'm guessing those talks are Johnny Depp saying, remember the 50 million you were going to give me for the last one? It's 100 million now. And I think he might be worth it because prior to Amber Heard, another Pirates movie would have been a fart in the wind. After Amber Heard, Johnny returning to Pirates would be significant. It would pop at the box office. Absolutely pop. For one, it's been enough time where people miss him, and people love a good redemption story, a comeback story. Not that he was in any need of redemption because he didn't do anything wrong with Amber Heard. I mean, certainly he had his problems with drugs and stuff, but who hasn't in Hollywood? So, yeah, a fucking Pirates movie would have been nothing prior to Amber Heard. Now it is an anticipated movie that would get a lot of hype. For example, if he did another Pirates before Amber Heard, I probably wouldn't have even seen it. I'd have skipped it. Now I'm there opening day. So the circumstances have changed, and I'm sure Johnny's representation have noticed that. Johnny doesn't need the money. So, yeah, they would have to pay him more. Now that, and I think maybe he considers it now that there's a new regime at Disney, and the regime that canned him is gone. But I would still make Bob Iger come out and get on both knees and apologize to me personally live on television. I would do a live stream if I was Johnny Depp, and all the proceeds could go to St. Jude's Children's Hospital with Bob Iger on his knees apologizing to Johnny Depp. And while he's at it, he can apologize to all the fandom for all the fucking franchises he's destroyed. But now he's off to fuck up the Lakers. Now, I did point out that Bob Iger is not done destroying franchises. Now, other people point out correctly, I don't give a shit about the NBA. But if somebody goes and destroys the Lakers and puts them into obscurity for the next 30 years, awesome. Fuck the Lakers. Fuck basketball. Apologize like Randy Marsh. Apologize like Homelander. Was it Chapek who got rid of him? Maybe was Chapek in charge? It might have been Axel Foley. You might be right. The timing would be right for Bob Chapek, who's writing a tell-all book, which I don't think he'll tell us shit. I'll still get it, but I don't think he's going to tell us shit. I think there's some NDAs, and I think he got a massive payout. 100% nerd cookies. Dude. That guy called you a dude on X. I called him out for misgendering you, milady. So Project Hail Mary is the best film of the year, and it's not even close, but I haven't seen Obsession yet. But I'm going to see Obsession on my brand new projector. Yes, he called you a fucking dude. He called you a guy, a male. He thought you had a penis. Nerd Cookies is awesome. Nerd Cookies will be joining us for Night of the Seven Kingdoms reviews, which I do believe Nerd Cookies is within the first quarter of next year. So she'll be joining us on the reviews. I can't see a movie coming out that I enjoyed more than Project Hail Mary. What sucks is that's such a feel-good movie, and it will probably not even be nominated. It might be nominated for Best Director, Best Special Effects. And here's a sad thing. Elliot Page will be nominated for Best Supporting Actor when that should go to Rocky. And I'm not even joking. The book is great. The only reason I read the book was because of Nerd Cookies. She kept talking about it. I'm like, all right, I'll read it. Well, read it. I listened to it on a drive to Arizona. And it was great. And Nerd Cookies got good taste. Go subscribe to her channel. She does some good lore stuff. It's fun. The only things I know about Dune are from her. I know how to listen. Yeah, I know how to read. I sold books for a living for 10 years. Yes, there were comic books, but there were books, okay? Okay, I sounded a little defensive right there. Little defensive. Garrett got me in my own fucking video when I mentioned the books I read in Disclosure Day, and he put in the clip of Draco going, "You know how to read?" Son of a bitch, Garrett. Pictures make the words go down easier. Nerd Cookies. I learned how to read on comics. I was having a really hard time reading. I know this shocks the audience. When I was a youngin', and it was through the electric company, I started picking up these. So I was starting to read from the electric company, and then I picked up comic books. And my mom was so happy that I was like understanding the words that, I got the positive reinforcement of getting new comic books if I read them. I've got You've gotten much better, Carrie. I know you can't. I get nervous every time we have to. You did a great job on the text for the Star Trek video, but I get nervous for both of us, and we have to like ask Lady Gravemaster or X-Ray Girl or Melissa, like, how's our grammar on this? Is this okay? And usually it's really fucked up. Oh shit! Now it's getting patronizing. Okay. But yeah, Project Hail Mary is fantastic. I can't wait to watch it on my crisp new laser projector. My 4K should be in the mail, right? People are starting to get them. Garrett did a fantastic job. That was meant to be an evergreen video. I was not going to make a Star Trek. Believe me, Garrett's like, what? You're making a Star Trek video? I'm like, yeah. And he killed it. Absolutely killed it. Yes, she does. She reads contracts, ledgers, tax documents. I don't read any of that shit. My wife could be embezzling all the money from me and I wouldn't know it. But I mean, we're married, so it's cool. She can embezzle from me. Maybe. Simp for my wife. Yes. I am a massive simp for my wife. That is true. And I have been for years. Oh, you should have seen me in high school. It was kind of pathetic. No. Johnny should tell Disney that they should hand him the check and he'll write the amount. Needs to make sure they get him 101 alpacas he wanted to. Fuck yeah. I would buy the ranch in Peru and put the alpacas on them if I was Disney. I think the movie, it would have a spectacular opening weekend. And you bring back everybody. You can. Everybody who's alive. You bring back everybody and you just figure out a story. Also, why am I blanking on his name now? Gore Verbinski. You bring back Gore Verbinski. He has to direct it. It's so weird thinking back to like when you first heard that there was going to be a Pirates of the Caribbean movie and you're like, that the ride at Disneyland? That's weird. And you hear Johnny Depp's in it. You're like, okay, cool. So this will be like a dumb, fun movie. And it's better than it had any business being. It is a legit classic good movie that's based on a fucking ride. And what's sad is that ride is a shadow of its former self. That used to be the best ride at Disneyland. Everybody rode. You go to Pirates of the Caribbean, then you went to Haunted Mansion. They were right practically next door to each other. And they fucked up the ride. Find a way to get Jeffrey Rush back. Yeah, the Black Pearl is fucking great. What bags and boards do I recommend? Where did that go? Gerber Mylights. Gerber Mylights, and then I think it's a different brand for the boards. You think I would know this off the top of my head, but I don't. So you want them to be acid free. Dun, dun. Yeah, it's Gerber. So you want so what I do is I get standard size Gerber Mylights 2 with a standard size full back acid free. Can I share this screen here? I'll show you. This is what you get. So this is current size. You want standard size. And I'm going to tell you why you want standard size. Because you want to standardize your comic collection. So you don't want the bags and boards being different sizes in your box. Standard is a happy medium between current, bronze, and silver. It will fit all three of those. Because you want uniformity in your box. You don't want like the edges, going like this. That would drive me nuts. Now, the other good thing is these are expensive, so you're looking at Mylights 2 current Mylar bags and 42p fullback boards. It's $45. Here's the deal, though. Here's where you save. Oh, you can't see it. I wasn't showing to you. Jesus Christ, I'm retarded. All right. So here you are. Right there. Now, again, those are current. Get standard. They're $45 each. For you get a pack of both. 50. So it's only 50. But again, this is where you save. You don't ever have to change them ever again. That is your one time. If you use the cheaper bags, the polyurethane bags, they are petroleum based, so they will break down, and the gases that come out inside the bag will affect the gases coming off the ink and the degrading paper in the comic book, and it gets trapped in the bag. That's where the yellowness comes in. If you put a board too long on a comic book, you can pull it off and there'll be an imprint of the image on it. And that's all from mostly the polyurethane bag trapping the air. So that's why you don't seal your comic books unless it's in CGC and then it's airtight. Otherwise, you want to flap over to let a little oxygen in that allows the comic book to breathe. But for the thick Rippaverse books, standard size. But standard size works for the thick Rippaverse books, which can be special editions. For comic books is for like Marvel and DC. And again, it'll fit current, bronze, silver. Won't fit gold, though. I'll be bagging and boarding tomorrow on Real BBC. Damn it, Jose Taco. I'm going to have to buy that. This is the first time I've seen one. So Jose Taco found one for me. I'm looking at it right now. It's pricey. It is pricey, but these things are rare. Thanks, dude. Okay, back to the chat. You think it's too much? I don't think it's too much considering how rare it is. Like I said, I think there's 100 in existence. But I don't think there's any other. But the fact that it's still around, I think you're right, Jose Taco, that he's asking too much. Otherwise, this thing would be nabbed up. Somebody get these beggars out of here. Oh, you guys are terrible. Jose Taco found me. I got a reel of 35 millimeter reel of Lord of the Rings, Fellowship of the Ring. Like, you're not even supposed to own those things. And I got it in a metal case, too. It's freaking rad. Oh, no. Did you have, like, I had a 300 box of TMT1. God knows what I did with, like, back in the day. That's one of the rarest books out there. First print. I don't think you could find one on eBay, even if you looked. Are you surprised they got Storm's race correct? Well, according to some people, Benny, they didn't, because she ain't black enough. And that girl's pretty black. The X-Men casting's pretty fucking good. And I think Storm looks good. And now everybody's wondering, is Rogue going to meet, see, this is where I'm for Brie Larson's Captain Marvel coming back. I'd like for them to call her Miss Marvel. And then her encounter Rogue. I think 1,100. They're asking 3,000. That's a lot. I have the Carmine Infantino and Stan Lee signed one. What are my thoughts on the Wolverine game info so far? Just what I've seen, and I'm not super impressed by it graphics wise, but maybe I'm expecting too much. I don't know. I'm gonna play it though. It comes out on what, September 15th? I'm gonna play it on the main channel. Volume 4 is good shit. But I am a floppy supremacist. That sounded bad. I like comic books. I don't really like trades or omnibuses. I own a couple. The only books I like are the artist editions or oversized books that are like so oversized they're ridiculous. I have a lot of artist editions left over from my shop. We are, Eric. Thickest boards possible. Yep. Gerber and acid free sounds wild. Your boy Zach found a girl that changed him. Well, that's a story as old as time. Well, good for him. I hope he's happy. Now he's got somebody to watch Furiosa with. Brother Kruer the ninth says, been a member for a month. Hey, Gary, just wanted to say I appreciate you and the work you do. Keep it up, brother. Thank you. I appreciate you guys being here and supporting the channel, and Garrett and Perry and I and X-Ray Girl and Steph, who is our researcher now, and Lady Gravemaster, who just hangs around, which is fine because we love her to death. Yeah, we can't put it in the words how grateful we are. Like, it is mind-blowing that we can go to Vegas and people wait in line for us. Like, the gravity of that is not sunk in. And I just want to kind of hold on to that gratitude. There are people out there who don't want to do that. I mean, any creator can do that whenever the fuck they want, by the way. They can just go to a restaurant and say, hey, meet us here and say hi. I think it's important to know that you guys are real. You're not just little pixels right there. And also, when you can, I think it's owed. So some gratitude. It's good to have gratitude in your life. And this can be, for some, a pretty isolating job. And I think some content creators get caught in their isolation and get caught in this doom loop in their own head, and they start blackpilling and burning out. And if they just stopped, because that happens in life too, if they just stopped once in a while and appreciated that they get to do this thing that a lot of people want to do, right? So you get to do this. That's earliest thing I learned from one of my sponsors. I told him, and if you've been in recovery and you've been a sponsee or a sponsor, you've heard this. I told him, I have to go to work today. He goes, no. You get to go to work today. That is your attitude from now on. And that's where fake it till you make it. And he's like, I don't give a shit if you feel that way. That is your attitude from now on. And we get to do this, and it's fucking great. And it's thanks to you guys. And it's strange. The whole thing is weird. In a good way, but it's weird. It's weird driving back from Vegas where we had this awesome time. You guys still came out, and I know it was hot. I'm sorry, and you still hung out. We had a great time. And then like William Shatner's tweeting. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? And you just got to laugh. Your boy Zach, can't be too hard on your boy Zach. He something's going on. But if he found a girl, I'm sure he's not thinking about me or Drinker anymore. I hope he finds happiness. Cavill as Magneto would be great. I honestly don't know if he's crashed out again. I don't pay attention. But Cavill as Magneto would be freaking brilliant. You know what would be brilliant? Good Marvel movies. That would be brilliant. It's astonishing that Spider-Man's making as much money as it is. I liked it. Is it the greatest movie ever made? No. But I liked it. But it would be really nice to talk about like a really good, generally, nothing will ever be universally loved, but a generally loved movie that was bordering on great. The fact of the matter is we haven't had a great Marvel movie in years. We've had some good ones, mostly from Sony. I think Mahler's Mahler doesn't leave a stone unturned. Attention to detail. That is Mahler's videos. Attention to detail. But I would say, and I know Mahler would say, go to the movie and find out for yourself. John Cleese, Doctor Who, there might have been a time. It's funny. John Cleese has been in one particular subject, like J.K. Rowling, incredibly based. The second Doomsday trailer had way more sauce than the first one. It did. The mucky, muddy brown effects that reminded me of Endgame, I didn't like Nerd Cookies, but I liked Doom's voice better. And I liked the earnestness better. Everybody's forgotten about the Eternals. Yeah, Infinity War is really good. It's still got a couple of problems in there too. But not as much as Endgame. And Infinity War is a good movie. I enjoy it. What's the last great Marvel movie? Civil War? (2014) What's up, Dermy? I think it's Civil War. Some will say Winter Soldier. Thoughts on Adam Driver as Mr. Sinister? Fucking great. Adam Driver is a good actor. Adam Driver could have pulled off a Ben Solo if given a better script. He did the best he could, but he's a good actor. I think that is brilliant casting. Yeah, it's funny. I like Winter Soldier and Civil War, but some people like Winter Soldier and some people like Civil War and don't like Winter Soldier. It's yeah. I said that in my review, that if they had done like a Kirby love letter and made the Eternals look like Kirby Eternals and the Celestials look like Kirby Celestials and truly introduced the Kirby crackle into the MCU, and I don't know, hired a director that had any kind of experience, that maybe had read a comic book, not some dissident from a communist country whose previous work was essentially setting up a camera in beautiful scenery in like the Badlands of North Dakota, with Francis McDermott staring out to the horizon. And did it get nominated for Best Picture? No, they don't. They have specifically said they don't want them. I am expecting too much. So the Vision Quest trailer came out. We're going to react to that tomorrow too. That's interesting. Calling it a trilogy with WandaVision and Agatha all along was a bit of a stretch. But it looks like it's going to be a father-son story. We'll see on that one. But there were some rumors that that's like the last Marvel TV show, but it can't be because Daredevil season 3 is coming out. My comic book lore itch started up again. So to satisfy it, I just been listening to as much lore as I possibly can right now. Learning about stories the MCU never touched is depressing. There's so many. Is it canon to the MCU? Yes and no. I mean, I don't think it'll be, I don't know if Vision will show up in Secret Wars. You think he would? I mean, they should bring everybody back. They should bring back the original team one more time. They have an opportunity to do it. James Spader plays Peepaw. Well, it's Terry Metalis. So, I mean, I'll give it a shot. I give everything a shot. But yeah, it's tied to Agatha all along. Vision Quest was my first Avengers West Coast comic. Avengers West Coast was awesome. We were just talking about Paul Smith earlier. I like Terry Metalis. 12 Monkeys was cool as hell. Picard season 3 rocked. What hot toy should I get for my first one? Who's your favorite character? Get your favorite character. I always try to get the most comic accurate as possible, but if you're a Hulk fan, the Hulk that they are offering for Spider-Man Brand New Day is the best Hulk I've seen. It's bigger. He's got the ripped pants. But we do have some good news for September. We have 2 Guy Ritchie shows coming out. So Gentleman comes out, I think, the 3rd of September, and then later on in the month, we get Mobland, Gentleman Season 2 and Mobland Season 2. And then we get Tulsa King, and then we get Landman. So at least we'll have some good TV. There's a Hot Toys Absolute Batman. They need to recast Mark Ruffalo. I agree. Oh, yeah, and the Terminal List is finally coming back. Completely forgot that show existed. So, yeah, we're going to have some good streaming shows. We need an Edward Norton Hulk Hot Toys. How about an Eric Bana one? Yeah, Terminal List is going to be good. Did you hear about Gil Kane stealing art from DC offices back in the day? Bummer, really. Well, I mean, was it his own art? Hopefully, Metalis does the same thing with Vision Quest that he did with Picard Season 3 and does it in a way that allows us to ignore what came before. I think that's kind of why he was hired. Kevin Feige, big Star Trek fan. I would love that, but not with Mark Ruffalo. All right. Ladies and gents, here Buster Nut Smash has gifted 5 Nerdrotic Live memberships. Thank you, Buster Nut Smash. And hey, Gary, just wanted to let you know I read that one earlier. Hail. All right, we're going to wrap things up. It was nice chit-chatting with you. I'll see you tomorrow at 11 a.m. Central for the real BBC. It'll be my birthday. I don't know how much I want to actually celebrate it, but it'll be my birthday. And I'll be hanging out with Az and Molly, and it'll be fun. And X-Ray Girl. So thank you to the Modrotics. Thanks to everyone who left a super chat and donation. You help keep the lights on. Thanks, everybody, for hanging. And I'll see you tomorrow.